Hey, I'm Chesia, I'm the owner of the Silver Center Event Hall, and you're watching Link TV. The Silver Center is a 30,000 square foot rental facility available for all social, religious, and corporate events. I got fired from my job. That's all I used to do on the side. I used to work for an administrative assistant at Eli Lilly, and I did parties on the side. And so when she let me go from my job, she was like, "You're not supposed to be doing this. You should probably be doing events." And she actually paid for my first semester of college. I didn't even know you could go to college for planning a party. I told her, I was like, "There's no such thing." And that's when I was introduced to event management. So she did fire me, but she paid for my first year of college. It changed it 100% because what I thought I knew about parties and what I like to do with them, I had no idea that there was an actual science behind it. I didn't know that there were actual event terms and jargon and how to communicate with other people in the industry so that, I had no idea. Just even with pipes and drapes, I would have never known, you know what I mean? Like, or the size of the linen. Now I can talk to my staff and be like, I need a 132, I need a 90 by 156, and they know exactly what it's for, what it's going to. So I learned quite a bit. Not only that, the camaraderie is what some people are missing. Like, so when you go to school for that, and you're around people that's just as weird as you, that get excited about charger plates and napkin rings, it makes you feel better about what you're doing, you know what I mean? And I'm looking at all these different patterns and these textures and these fabrics and these colors, and only we know that David Bridal makes up their own colors. You know what I mean? Like, they come in here and they want dirty Fall Creek water brown. There's no such thing, but David Bridal does that. We have to communicate with the client, but you can, is what I'm saying. And so when I was in school and we started going to the conventions and the event conferences and meeting other like big time vendors, I was just blown away. I couldn't wait. And that was really part of why I started my own venue, because the last one I went to, I was big and pregnant, and then that's when I started looking for a venue. Like, oh man, this is it. I'm about to quit my job. I quit my job. I sold my house. I got rid of my car. I'm like, this is it. I need all this money. I'm about to do this, and that's just it. I am a bit of a rebel. I hate to be told no. So there are a lot of strenuous rules at hotels and other event facilities. Sometimes you got to spend $50 a plate or a food and beverage minimum just for a baby shower or something small. So I hated the patterns in the carpet and trying to cover up the American presidents, and it just was too much for me. So I said I wanted my own space to make my own rules for my clients so that I could service my clients the way that I wanted to. Well, I started my first venue on Pelham and Pike. It was 15,000 square feet and I had 2 suites. I was there until 2015. I took a year and some months off to renovate this facility. We opened again in May of 2017 and we're still here. And now it's doubled in size and I have three different suites instead of 2. That might be a question for somebody else. You know what? I still, I wish I could personally pinpoint it. Other people know. So when they come here, they like, no, we want you to do it because of. But to me, I'm just working. I don't even pay attention to, what it is I'm giving them that's so great. I'm just doing what I do. I'm doing what I love. I'm doing it the way I want to do it. I'm doing it the way I know how to do it. I'm not going to shortchange them. I'm not going to shortchange myself. I know that as it relates to the cost of the Silver Center, I try to include as much as I can. And of course that raises the price a little bit, but other places you may have to pay for the room and then get all these other things separately. No, we come with a kitchen, you come with security, you come with your cash bar and your licensed bartenders, you come with all your tables and chairs. We're gonna clean up and take out the trash for you. We're gonna, all that stuff comes with cost because I pay people to do it. I can't do all those things myself. So once you break down the cost of the room and then the cost of security and your bartenders and your bar and the bar tangibles and the staff to make sure that your room's not too hot or too cold and you got enough chairs and the staff took to set up and tear down your tables and chairs the way you want them set. And when you think about all the back end of that, it's a cost associated. I mean, people should know that. You can get an empty room, and then I can charge you a little bit less for an empty room, and then you bring all your own stuff, and then it wouldn't be the Silver Center. I like to pride the Silver Center on authenticity. So I like to use real, tangible products. I like to use real props and real, whether it's made or purchased or whatever. I want it to be real. I don't want a picture of nothing. I don't want to run to Party City and get a whole bunch of Mickey Mouse plates. You don't need me for that. And I'll tell the client, if that's what they want, you don't need to pay me for that. I'm not even gonna take their money if that's what they're looking for, because that's not what I do. I've had to learn to set a minimum so that people understand that when you hire an event planner or an event designer, that's exactly what it is. If you just want me to go to Party City and run and spend all your money there and grab all your stuff, a cousin can do that. You don't need me for that. Nobody but the Lord. Nobody but the Lord. I had a little daughter, and I just gave birth to my son. So when I opened the Silver Center, he wasn't even one. I just knew I had enough confidence in myself, and I'm really, I pride myself on my perseverance, and my tenacity. So I just once I got my mindset on something, it's a wrap. You can't really talk me out of anything. Not to mention that, how old was I? 30? Was I 30? Yeah, I was a little over 30. I was a terrible employee. I couldn't work nowhere. I didn't want to. I needed to work for myself. So I worked for call centers. I didn't want nobody to tell me when I can get up and pee and all that. I didn't want to do that. So I was very headstrong on working for myself. Proud that I am still here. I am very proud that I'm still here. I have faced many, many things that aren't public, as they shouldn't be. But in business, there's a lot of ups and downs, and I have surpassed them all so far. Really just by keep going. I haven't quit. I haven't stopped. I don't allow a no to stop me. And that I'm still here past the pandemic. I'm still here past a lot of different things. I understand that the Silver Center is not the cheapest facility, and so I thought it would be very hard for Indianapolis to grasp the fact that quality events come with a quality cost. And so the fact that I'm still around and I still have great supporters and wonderful clients and I'm still in business is a triumph of its own. Well, there are a few. The main one, I believe, is just credibility as it compares to an independent venue versus a more corporate venue like the larger ones downtown. Proving myself that I am good enough and or better than the larger companies or the publicly traded companies rather. That's the biggest challenge. The second challenge is, it probably will always be, the home life balance. When you work in a business that thrives on the weekends, your weekends at home are gone. So, and I have 2 children, so we kind of battle that sometimes. And then of course the pandemic was quite a challenge. Is that a trick question? How do I balance home life? I use a lot of gadgets just to keep it all the way real. I need everything to start on its own, stop on its own. I need a remote everything. I need stuff to work when I'm not at home. And so that helps. My children are very helpful, though they're learning. They're learning that they don't have a choice but to be helpful, or sometimes it's just not gonna happen. They are masters of the crock pot at this point. Know your worth. Never charge less than what you're worth. Never charge less than what the industry standard is, because at that point you just ruin the industry. I'll just take balloons because I don't do balloons. If it's $350 for a balloon arch all across the country, and you're only charging $100. Not only are you shorting yourself, but you're hurting the industry. So I would stay within your industry standard. I would never ever quit or give up. There's going to be tons of no's. There's going to be tons of clients that go other places and want somebody else to do it, or they have their own favorite, or there's going to always be that. I would just never stop. My grandfather always used to tell me, you don't lose until you quit. So I've been told no. I used to take it very personal. Like, that's my friend and she went somewhere else, or they said I was cost too much, and now I don't even care. What's for me is what's for me, and I live by a lot of words. I was raised by my grandparents, so they old and they got a cliche for everything. But my grandfather used to say it's an ass for every seat. So I would just stay steadfast and unmovable, stay in prayer, do what you know how to do it, and keep going. Never ever ever. If it's really your dream, then you would never ever give up on it. I wanted to try to get our people out of the whole balloon streamer mentality. A lot of us think that, or we're just used to the living room backyard party. They just gonna get a few little decorations and barbecue, and that's good enough. And sometimes it is. For a real celebration, I'm trying to get us I'm just trying to, I'll say educate. I'm trying to educate us on not only the cost of things, but the efficiency of it, and the convenience of having someone else that's their profession to do that for them. So I used to go to big weddings and big events and stuff downtown and look around, or go to stuff out of town. I'm like, I know this party had to cost $1 million, but it seems so, what's the word? It seems so out of reach. You know what I mean? Like something I could never be able to either host on my own, or nothing that my family would have on their own. I just always had this experience elsewhere. And so I wanted to bring a quality venue and quality design and convenience to our community, so that people understand that we can have great celebrations. We can still celebrate our own people, and it don't have to be in a living room. It don't have to be at a night to Columbus. You know what I mean? We can have a venue that belongs to us, and we can have where we can have quality events and weddings and such things like that. And so I'm always grateful to serve all races and all of everyone, but I really did this for the culture.